David Asman is here from Fox Business Network, and we're just playing. We're playing a little game of Jenga because I think everybody on Wall Street and everybody in Washington is just playing a game. Oh, and it's all connected. The problems and the solutions are connected. They're just flips of the same piece. Oh, and the taxpayers and our children. You're now on the hook for $116,000. And the thing is that we're trying to make the point here is, you know what? You just keep pulling stuff out. You just keep saying, you know what? We're going to spend another. We're going to spend another trillion. We're going to spend another trillion. We're going to have another bailout. And before you know it, the whole thing will collapse. Not on them. They don't care. They got theirs. It'll collapse on you, your family. All right, I want to bring you a story out of California.
All right, brother.
We'll talk again. Listen, the government doesn't seem to get it. When we have Keith back, I want to ask him that. What is it going to take to get our government to get it? What is it going to take? I want to ask Ron Paul that same question on the other side. Remember, he's a dangerous militia member, I hear. Oh, and there she blows. There she blows.
It was the word militia.
I'm just saying. All right, coming up with Ron Paul next. Okay, there it is. Okay, I've been covering the government's new way to help authorities identify domestic terrorists. A new report put together by the Missouri Information Analysis Center warns that militia members most commonly associate with third-party political groups. There's been an update today. The Missouri Department of Public Safety has issued a letter just moments ago before we went on air saying the report should have, quote, made no reference to supporters of Ron Paul, Bob Barr, Chuck Baldwin, or any other third party, political organization, or any other candidate. They're going to edit the report, you know, deleting these references, but I don't think it's going to make a difference at this point. We have Ron Paul on with us now, a dangerous, dangerous man. Hello, Congressman Paul. How are you?
Hello there.
Are you now or have you ever been a member of the Libertarian Party?
I have to admit, yes,
okay,
I was.
But the good thing is,
trouble?
Well, the good thing is you don't have a Ron Paul bumper sticker on the back of your car, do you?
Yeah, I have one of those too, at home at least.
All right, we're tracing the... Oh, well, wait a minute. Yeah, we know exactly where you are. Just hang out and talk with me for a few more minutes, my friend. Let me ask you this. We looked up today, and we couldn't figure out why Missouri was putting this whole report together, because nobody's been killed in Missouri by a militia member. There was one that I think, where did we find it? In Michigan, and it was an alleged militia member. Yet ELF has done unbelievable damage. 2,000 crimes. 2,000 crimes since 1979 and over $110 million in damage. But nobody seems to be looking at radicalized terror groups like ELF. Why is that?
Well, I guess they're in charge and we're not. But sometimes I think, you know, when they attack anybody outside the mainstream means that if our conclusion is correct that both major parties are about one party, then they want no opposition whatsoever. But those who are in charge of this must have liberal leanings if they never address any liberal groups that commit violence. So it's a pretty good question and a pretty good point. Hopefully it'll wake up more Americans to what's going on.
I mean, we called the FBI. The FBI has 4 ELF members on their most wanted list. 4. Person from a militia. Is this, Congressman Paul, do you believe this is some sort of a setup? I mean, why all of a sudden the interest in these militias?
Well, it may be a backhanded compliment because a lot of us have worked real hard to change our government. We address the subject of sound money and foreign policy, limited government, and, you know, we even mentioned the Constitution. And if you have too many people believing that way, we challenge the status quo. So I think if they see us as a threat, they may come out with these tactics to try to demonize us. So let's look at it as a more positive thing. And interestingly enough, you know, we're having a rally out there in St. Louis, Missouri, coming up here this weekend. Maybe it had something to do with that. Maybe they wanted to discredit what we were trying to do in St. Louis.
There were 5,000 people in Orlando, Florida. There was a big rally, I think, in Lexington, Kentucky, with a couple of thousand people there. I mean, there is something going on, and it's not being organized. I mean, I want to have the people that organized the Orlando rally on, maybe on tomorrow. They're 4 moms. They're 4 mothers. They're just like, I can't take it anymore. I have to take a break. But when I come back, I want to talk to you a little bit about what is it that the average person can do that could actually wake Washington up. Is there anything that will wake these clowns up? Coming up. We're back with Texas Congressman Ron Paul. Senator Gregg said that the United States is going bankrupt and that Obama is going to bankrupt the United States of America. Do you believe that, Congressman?
Not quite, because I think it's already bankrupt. It's insolvent. We couldn't pay our bills. The official declaration hasn't been done yet, but we couldn't pay our bills. Everything we pretend that we owe, there's no cash flow to pay for all the bills. If we sold every acre of land in this country, I don't even think we could pay our bills. So yes, the bankruptcy of America is here, and I think this financial crisis should lend itself to our benefit in that people will become outraged and maybe demand some changes here in Washington.
When you say we can't pay our bills, I mean, what does that even mean? I mean, people, you see, it doesn't affect people that they realize now that the new number is $116,000 for every family of 3. $116,000 every American family now owes. People just think, well, we're not going to have to pay that. It'll just roll over into something else.
Right. No, if you can't pay your bills, you have to go out and borrow it or work harder, and everybody understands that. When a government can't pay their bills, they don't have the money. The tax revenues are going down, the bills are going up, and we don't slow up on the spending. We quadruple the amount of spending. But they have a printing press, and they print the money. People still have a trust in the dollar, so they pay the bills that way, which is deceitful and wrong. Well, and this is why I think, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say that the thing is, I mean, if you saw last week, when they started monetizing our debt, which America means taking an IOU from one pocket, giving that IOU to the Treasury prints $1 trillion, then hands it to the other hand and says, oh my gosh, look at the money. Oh, can we borrow that? I mean, it's crazy talk. Gold went up like $78. That was people freaking out. But what they will say is the rest of the world is in worse shape than our dollar is. And so we're fine. We're going to be fine. Everybody else is going to collapse before we do.
Well, that isn't the case, but this is an opportunity for us because for a long time I've been saying that we need more transparency of the Federal Reserve because they were creating the bubble. We could have prevented this, but they didn't listen. The crisis has come, but now the people are much more alert, and they're saying, yes, that makes a lot of sense. We do need to know what the Fed is doing, and that's why they support my position on transparency.
What is it we can do? What is it that actually people in Washington fear? Because I don't think they fear anything. They don't fear a scandal. They don't fear anything.
They fear truth. If the truth comes out, they can't handle that.
What can the average person do to let the people in Congress know, hey, you work for me?
Everybody's job is different. It might be running for Congress, supporting candidates, calling their congressman, doing whatever. In my own little way, for these many decades, it's been dealing with the monetary system because I thought it was the big issue. And I'm working right now on a precise piece of legislation, H.R. 1207, which would demand that the Fed open up their books. They have not had to do that. They're protected by the law. So that is something I can do. Others could help me if we get to Congress. The people want that. I would.
H.R. 1207. Congressman, thank you very much.